Here are 10 reasons why Tesla stock is investment grade and why it might be wise to consider going all into Tesla stock in your stock portfolio or increasing your Tesla stock position. Moodys is an agency that gives companies, for example, Tesla right now still holds a junk rating when it comes to the debt because of Moody's rating, and Alexandra here wrote quite a response to Moody's bad decision. Number one is when Tesla could no longer source required chips, they demonstrated flexibility and engineering prowess by switching to available chips and writing code to transform available chips into functional equivalent chips. Now, what's more impressive here is they did all of that, but all of this actually made Tesla even more profitable because now they were using less chips, and that is not talked enough about, and Alexandra didn't even really mention this in here, and I believe really that just shows Tesla's engineering and innovation ability to continually improve margins even when everything goes against you. I mean, shortage of chips, everyone else suffered. Tesla grew margins directly because of that. So not only did Tesla was able to keep up their profits in terms of the growth rate, they were able to maintain the growth that they were looking for, but directly because of this shortage, now all of the vehicles that will be produced later will have less chips and therefore will be more profitable. And here's a question from this qualitative perspective: which deserves an investment grade rating? An agile, resourceful automaker, Tesla, or top investment grade automaker struggling to adapt to global shortages? Number two, please remember Tesla customers don't buy stale cars because Tesla constantly improves them, and this experience continues after the customer purchases the car. So we got a Model 3 all-wheel drive, and one thing I absolutely hated was every time I would adjust the temperature in the car, which I do basically almost every time I drive, I would click on the heating seats button. If it's winter, it's all right. I'm just feeling a little bit more warm than I would like to, but in the summer, ooh, that's a little bit too much. You have crazy hot weather outside, everyone's sweating, and now I'm turning on the AC, and for some reason my bottom is feeling hot because when I was adjusting the temperature, I by accident clicked on the button to heat the seats, and that happened at least like a third of the time, probably more like 50% of the time. But now the whole interface is redone and that never happens again. I can't say anything like that about any other car. Usually when you get a car and you have something annoying, yeah, you're gonna have to suck it up for the rest of your ownership of that car. Not with Tesla. And you know what that does? When I look for my next car, I will be a lot more likely to stick to Teslas because I know things will get better over time. From an investment point of view, there's a company that takes such great care of its customers should have its investment grade rating dinged? I don't think so. Number three, these constant improvements also help Tesla keep their margins higher because cost savings are implemented every single day instead of being postponed until the next cosmetic upgrade in a few years. And most changes are really made to take costs out of a vehicle, and that becomes more profitable, and eventually for consumers that will mean much more affordable cars. But demand is so high that you have to wait for a spectacularly long time just to even get a vehicle. And of course, the gross margins clearly reflect this in numbers. Of course, there are going to be some bumps along the way, like some of the factories were shut down, and of course now we are in the ramping phase of 2 factories, so that's to be expected, but the overall trend is very clear. It's up. And just to be clear, Moodys is not saying anything about Tesla's financials from a point of just numbers. The quantitative, everything that to do with quantitative data that's all good. It's all the qualitative data, which is basically mostly opinion and not numbers. Anything that's not a number is basically going to be not quantitative. So from a qualitative point of view, does that indicate that such a company is relatively likely to continue to post great financial results? Spoiler alert, yes. Number 4, Tesla follows the same successful streamlined strategy as Apple. For reference, rated the highest investment grade AAA. And you could certainly say there's some similarities here when you look at this. And number 5 is a little bit of a tricky one, and I want to push back against this one a little bit, but not only to one subset of this. So Alexander says Tesla will not cannibalize sales of existing products. Well, let's look at the previous data. So check this graph out. This is basically, if you just look at this right here, this is every year from 2018 to 2022. It's just the first quarter of a year, basically. It's a little bit confusing because it says January, but just must have made a mistake. It should be Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. But the point is, this is just SNX total, and we know that Model 3, started scaling just around when you see the sales start to struggle here. So no cannibalization, I don't know about that, but it's relatively low. And if Tesla could sell an insane amount of S's and X's, they would, because they are very profitable. So I think this is more of a demand thing than it is a production thing. And this may sound a little bit controversial in the space of Tesla stock investors, but these are incredibly expensive cars. I mean, I've been dating the Model X. I don't think it just keeps getting a delay after delay after delay, and it's a very expensive car already. And it's almost like, do we really want this car? Waiting so long. And we can ignore 2021 really, because that was shut down on purpose. But this cannibalization it's not really significant cannibalization, because look, the other models are going straight up. Like, it's a very clear direction. But here's where it gets a little bit funny. You praise Ford's efforts to apply to their EV line the streamlined Tesla approach of fewer vehicles in key segments, and Moodys they're not happy with Tesla having so few models. That obviously makes a lot of sense somehow. Now here's where the real point number 5 comes in. We have seen that Tesla reaches high sales numbers every time it enters a new car market. This matters. The cannibalization part, I wouldn't be worried too much about that, because if you enter a new segment and you make so many more sales, if you cannibalize the other model just a little bit, it won't matter at all. The electric semi is going to be a game changer in the economics of transport by semi, and the above mentioned gigantic number of pre-orders for a Cybertruck, which is over 1 million. I have one of those, by the way, too. Drop a comment below if you have one on pre-order as well. Cybertruck will take years to manufacture to fulfill all the demand. That is, so just based on these 2 additional markets, how does the future of Tesla look from an investment point of view? I mean, you got a product that's going to definitely make money. People want to get their hands on it. I want to give Tesla my money, but they're not taking it. How rude of them. Number 6, Tesla doesn't need to fear the competition. It is way ahead when it comes to innovative manufacturing. And she specifically states here, in November 2021, now former VW chairman of a management board, Herbert Diess, complaining that Tesla can make a car in 10 hours while it takes Volkswagen about 30. Now, I would have loved for Alexander to expand here. There's so much more to go into. Like the gigacastings is just one example. 4680, just another commonly known example. But I think with the robo-taxis, that's where a lot of things are going to come in big time. The reason why I think robo-taxis are going to be the actual $25,000 car, and the reason why Elon is making the shift from, oh, it's going to be a $25,000 compact car to now, oh, no, it's going to be a robo-taxi, because imagine if you get a Tesla vehicle and it does 0 to 60 in like 12 seconds. Would you want to buy that car? Probably most people no. And that's really, 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 really slow. I mean, you buy a Tesla right now, you get 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 1.99 seconds, basically. Or another thing, imagine you buy a $25,000 compact Tesla vehicle marketed directly to consumers, and then you want to put your insurance documents into the glove box only to find out there's no glove box. People would not be in love with that. But if you market it first, that if you make the car to be a robo-taxi first, and it's clear, hey, look, this is a robo-taxi. Now, if you want, you can buy it as a consumer as well. That is, if we have installed full self-driving by then yet, and we want to get those cars out on the road so that we can press one button later and turn on all those robo-taxis all at once, instead of waiting for FSD to be fully done and only then producing robo-taxis. No, we're not going to do that. People will buy those cars anyway if we are not done with full self-driving, and we get to expand our fleet. People buy Tesla vehicles still, and with a clear expectation that those cars are robo-taxis first, people will not complain about not having a glove compartment box or the car being really slow, because hey, look, the car is going to be much cheaper. But probably the full self-driving options on that vehicle is going to be more money than the actual vehicle. And another point that I would make, especially for those considering to get all in to Tesla stock with their whole stock portfolio like I have, Tesla's market share, I believe, the only reason it's not bigger than it is right now is because simply it's production constrained, and all the other EVs, not all of them, but most of them, they are not that good. But when you want to buy a Tesla and you have to wait for half a year, 1 year, and you can get this other EV much quicker, some people are gonna go like, I'm gonna take a chance, I'm gonna get that other one. So later, then Tesla expands its production capacity by a lot, and they offer a better product than everyone else. I think Tesla's market share is actually going to grow, as opposed to staying the same or shrinking, which is the popular belief. Now this right here could really be 6.1, but let's just say it's number 7, because this is where the gigacastings really come into place, and basically explaining that so many robots are now gone, and then the low-cost Tesla model comes. The body may well be made as a single piece. That would be the dream. Now, I think that will take more than just a few years. Elon Musk really didn't seem to be too confident about that happening very soon. I mean, right now we're just scaling 4680. That's going to take a while, and for that to come to fruition, it's going to take a while. But you know what completely boggles my mind is the fact that the competitors, meanwhile, they're not doing that. Why? Why are you not doing that? It's clearly the right thing to do. Why? Tesla has unparalleled demand for all their models in all countries in which they sell cars, and is currently still production limited, and that will continue for many years to come. Now, one more thing that I would like to add to Alexander's point right here, the demand that Tesla has right now. You gotta keep in mind, Tesla has increased the price this year like 69 times. And there's a lot of room to reduce pricing later, which will accelerate the demand even more. And even more, Tesla can sell vehicles at such a price where they are still profitable, but their competitors would be losing money. Tesla can literally price everyone else out of the marketplace. And that's one of the issues that also Apple sort of has. They have to watch carefully to not take significantly more than 50% of the market share, because if they do, the government will come knocking on their door. And Tesla, maybe, this is just a maybe, this is a bull case, not a base case, but maybe Tesla would have a similar problem in a distant future. Maybe, maybe not. That's just only a bull case, definitely not a base case. And of course, we know that graduates from MIT and basically all engineering schools, they want to work for Tesla and SpaceX. And Tesla and SpaceX for the last few years was always number 1 and number 2. Now they switched places, but they are always at the top. And this right here, this is very well written. Tesla's greatest strength is the formidable and extraordinary teams of top engineers, scientists, physicists, software developers, AI specialists, and manufacturers that Elon Musk has been assembling for over 15 years, and which none of competing companies come close to. Is this taken into account in your qualitative evaluation? And guess what? When you work on something first, you get your pick of who you want to pick. It's like, remember the kindergarten days or middle school days or primary school days where you're gonna play soccer, football, basketball, and they choose who they want on their team. Now, they would usually pick me first, but you probably saw something happen where, you know, basically both teams picked everyone, and now it just comes down to like the last two people, and it's like they're both not any good, but maybe one is even much worse than even the other one, and whoever picks second has a big disadvantage because you got worse people on your team. Tesla has been picking all the people for like 15 years. So imagine going back to high school and you pick your team and you get to pick the first 5 people. And if you play basketball, there's only 5 people on your team, basically. So you just pick everyone who you want, and then you leave all the worst people for the other team. That's basically what is happening right here. And I would also like to point out that this is accelerating. It's getting more favorable to Tesla. And if you go back even to 2016, which was not exactly 2016-17, not exactly the best time for Tesla, but we look here, and even back then, Tesla was number 4. And this is just a random article, so I wouldn't, look too much into this. But the thing is this has been going on for a long time, and you don't see Ford, Volkswagen, or Toyota, or BMW here. You just only see Tesla when it comes to car companies. Number 10 is there's a big Tesla community, larger than for any other car brand. Even really for any other company when it comes to investors. Like, there's no Apple daily, there's no Google daily, definitely there's no Meta daily, there's no Apple economist, there's no solving the money problem through Amazon or Apple, but there is one with Tesla. And Tesla fans, they take things personally, or maybe not so much personally, as they tell you the truth. They really want you to know the truth, because if you get a Tesla vehicle, you just can't stop talking about it. You just can't shut your mouth up because it's so much better than anything you had. And number 11 is, some could say Moodys is irrelevant, but I'm not gonna go there. Number 11 is Elon Musk himself. Elon can produce, and this is another point about demand. Elon can produce the demand for Tesla vehicles literally on demand. He can go to the biggest podcast in the world if he wants to. He can probably do it many more times. He can go to basically any podcast. Everyone will have him. Any podcast he does, any show he goes on, the ratings just blow up, views blow up, millions of views. Everyone wants him. He doesn't need advertising. And also, Elon is a master of inserting himself into the conversation. Bitcoin and crypto is doing well. Tesla is buying some Bitcoin, not an amount that really makes any difference, but it creates free advertising and it definitely increases Tesla sales. Dogecoin, I would say same thing. And whether Elon is doing that purposely or just by accident as a joke, it still has the same effect of increasing Tesla sales and further demand. Tesla is investment grade, and there is no qualitative ground to ding the rating to below investment grade, and upgrade is really overdue. Now, I'm planning to stay all in Tesla stock in my stock portfolio for many years to come, and right now especially, you might look at Tesla's chart and think, oh, I missed the big opportunity to go into Tesla stock in 2019, where Tesla stock basically went to the moon, and you might be thinking this is now a bad time. But I really think that today is actually a better time to invest into Tesla stock than it was back then, because the stock basically did nothing for a whole year, and it's not getting the investment grade rating yet. So a lot of institutions are not able to buy Tesla stock. Wall Street has been putting Tesla stock on sale for the longest time because the consensus is that by 2030, Tesla will only deliver a little over 6 million vehicles in a year, and that's the base case. That's not the bear case. But really, the reason why I went all into Tesla stock as a fairly conservative investor is realizing, oh, Tesla stock is actually a safe investment. And I made a video about that, so click that next here, unless you like this one better, then click this one here. But really, watch this one. And the best way to support the channel is to click the like button. So if you like to see more videos, and also better videos, better quality videos, better editing, better everything, click the like button. That will help the channel a lot. Thank you very much. My name is Matt Posius.